What's going on YouTube? My name is NachoAmigo97, here to bring you guys some SMITE support gameplay. If you haven't already seen my Hercules support video, I highly recommend you to go check that out. Right now you're just watching the login screen so I can talk to you real quick. For some reason the recording didn't record the very beginning of the match that I'm about to show you guys, so I just threw this in the background for the time being while I talk to you guys about what's going on. Basically in this match I played Ymir, and I'm just going to kind of walk you through what was going on. This is just basically like a part 2 to my last video. Like I said, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Basically, I went over how I like to do the invade meta with supports, and how I like to do the 3v3 in mid with your jungler and your mid laner as a support, and you let your carry just take solo farm and whatnot. This game we actually nailed it. We pretty much 3v3'd in mid for the entire early game, and I was doing my very best to screw over their jungler. They had a Guan Yu jungle, and I was making his life a complete living hell, honestly. I was doing my job pretty well, and that's with Ymir too. So the reason why I chose Ymir is because we had enough physical on our team already. I really couldn't pull out the herc support, but I mentioned in my last video when I did do the herc support that I also like to play Ymir. So I figured I'd go ahead and this was the perfect game to do it. So I figured I'd just go ahead and show you guys how I do the Ymir support. So because it's not going to show the very beginning of the match, I'm just going to tell you what I started. I started with Boots 2, Health Chalice, 4 health potions, and instead of going Heavenly Wings, I went Blink. Like I said, Blink is typically better if you can get away with it. If you feel comfortable enough to Blink, then Blink is typically better if you're going to be doing this kind of strategy and be an aggressive support that's dominating in the mid lane and invading yellow, invading red, doing things like that. And it worked out pretty well for me. I did mess up my build later on in the game, but we'll get into that later. Basically, I forgot to build Relic Dagger. If you're going to go Blink on a support, you typically want to go Relic Dagger. But let's go ahead and get into this now. Alright, so this is where the recording started my video, apparently. As you can see, I'm just kind of watching over the wall here. That's their Ra. I'm pretty sure that's their Ra. Yeah, that's their Ra and their Guan Yu. Now I had to kind of play this quick because I knew that Ra was going to laser the camp. So I went straight in as soon as I saw him laser, because that laser does a lot of damage. So I just went ahead and got some really good poke off on the Ra. That's not going to matter too much though. Now I should have already popped my health potions by this point, but I completely spaced it for some reason. And it almost screws me over here. I actually almost die because of this. I'm trying as hard as I can to clear the red. But as you can see, I know that he leveled his 3 first, so he obviously doesn't have his 2 to dash me right now. And I'm faster than him because I have boots too, so I can just kind of kite him over here to bring him to my Hobwa. And I'm pretty sure we get this kill, this first blood here. Yeah, so we get it. You see me being toxic, just laughing a little bit on him. And then here's the Kukulkan. I completely missed my 2. That was really unfortunate. But we still end up getting the kill as well. So at this point, I'm totally and my mid laner doesn't actually come to help me clear this, but we still get the buff. I'm pretty sure he dies, I think. The Hobwa? He might not die. I can't remember. Merc's coming to help him. Looks like he's good. By the way, this video is pre-recorded. Same thing as last time. I didn't mean to do it. I was just casually playing a match, and it happened to go really well. And I wasn't talking or anything. I was actually listening to music this entire match. So, but hopefully I'll stop doing pre-recorded videos. I don't like pre-recorded videos. I just think they don't look clean. But it does give me a good chance to do some decent commentary on top of the video instead of like being flustered and everything. So as you see here, I went ahead and sold my remaining health potion and got some multi-pots. That's probably the best thing you can do at this point, honestly. If you're going to be using a lot of abilities and running out of mana, then multi-potions are probably better for you. You could even go mana potions if you don't want to do the double healing anymore. Doesn't matter. And I got my Guardian's Blessing now, so that way I don't have to last hit minions to get ideal farm. Now his yellow is up right now, so I'm going to go ahead and rotate over to his yellow. I'm just kind of checking to make sure that the Ra's not coming to help, because I see that Guan Yu is in mid, obviously, so he can't get the buff, but that doesn't mean that Ra can't come and get it. And we have no eyes on Ra right now, so. But I go ahead and target it down and make sure that I get the buff. Now I see a lot of people, I used to do this, a lot of people will leave one of the side creeps. I don't do that if I'm invading yellow. If I'm invading blue or purple, I'll do it. But usually if I'm invading red, and never when I'm invading yellow, I'm always going to take all 3 creeps. Just because it's going to starve them of more farm, excuse me. It's going to take more farm away from them. They're always going to want to check their yellow buff. So like, if you leave one of the side creeps on yellow, they're definitely going to go check it, and they're just going to get the creep. So you're only wasting a little bit of their time. And it's also good for you to go ahead and just drop it, so that way you can get the timer on it, and then if you plan to invade it again. And that was actually a really good freeze by me, because I canceled out his 2, and then I walled him off really well. I hit some pretty sweet walls this game. I was down to like 8 health right there, if I'm not mistaken. And I can't believe that Ra beam didn't hit me. That should have hit me. Another good wall there to save my Habwa. Make sure that he's all good. If I'm going to be here stealing his farm, I might as well do everything I can to help him. I mean, you are the support. You're not doing this to screw over your mid lane. You're doing this to help out your mid lane in some ways and let your carry free farm. That's the whole idea of this. And then as far as like the invading and everything goes, that's just to screw over their jungler. Which, by the way, their Guan Yu is 3, and right now my Mercury is 5. So I'm doing a really good job at keeping the Guan Yu under-leveled compared to my Mercury. I don't think I ever learned who their support actually was this entire game. I'm pretty sure it was Kook. I'm pretty sure it was Kukulkan support and Uller carry. This is just a casual game. This isn't a ranked game like my Hercules video was. And their team was pretty bad. Like, they probably could have done a lot to punish me this game because I was making a lot of mistakes in theory. But they're actually really bad, so I was actually able to go ahead and blink in there and steal that. I accidentally walled myself off as well, though. Now at this point I'm out of mana, but they just decided to not chase me. At this point they're probably already pissed that I'm taking his yellow and whatnot. Here comes even the Arthur from solo lane to rotate over and fuck with me. I'm letting my Habwa know that I'm out of mana, so that way he knows that he kind of has to appeal for himself at that point. But I did manage to get enough to afford a wall right there, thanks to my multi-potion that I popped. Now at this point I'm going to go for cooldown boots, and I think I buy wards. No, I don't buy wards yet. I go ahead and get more multi-potions. Just kind of watching to see what's going on here. There's nothing really going on right now to commentate. We're just rotating back to lane, so. I'm making sure I don't last hit these creeps, so that way my Habwa can. And even if he doesn't, if the archers clear them or something like that, then I still get my stacks on Guardian's Blessing. Right now I'm just trying to stack that up. And then I'm going into a Thebes right now, as soon as that gets finished. Or as soon as I can afford it, rather. Now his yellow's about to come up again. I'm pretty sure I rotate over and try to contest that as well. We take these side camps. The mid camps are really important. Emilzy talked about this in a recent video. He was saying that the mid camps are kind of slept on, and like the mid to lower level, like the mid camps are actually really important because that's neutral farm that you could be starving your opponent from getting. Right here I ult to get the yellow buff. That's totally worth it in my book, at least, especially an Ymir ult. If it was like some kind of ult with some hard CC that I might need to use later in a team fight, then that'd be different. But the only real CC Ymir ult has is a slow. And it is a really good slow, but it's just not something, to me at least, that's that valuable in the early game that's worth saving for a team fight. The Kukulkan does clear me out there, which is unfortunate, but it doesn't matter because I completed my job. Your only goal is to be as annoying as you possibly can. Try to help your mid laner, peel for them when possible, and don't fuck with your carry, let them free farm, and just be as annoying as you can. So it doesn't matter if you die. Don't be afraid of death. You're not supposed to be a very high level. Now, at this point, I am a pretty high level compared to their team at least. Like, I'm out leveling their jungler, which, I mean, that's just bonus points really. That's not the goal. You're not supposed to be just trying to take as much farm as you possibly can. But if you are getting farm, that's just a bonus. Don't avoid farm by no means. Play the game. But yeah. So they took their red. That's unfortunate, but I do get timer on it, so. I managed to wall them off. I tried to go for the 180 freeze, but it didn't work because he was already retreating. That was a decent ult by me on Kukulkan. I probably didn't need to do that though, honestly, because there's no follow up here. We don't actually kill him if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure he gets out. Now it's unfortunate that they managed to kill my Hobwa and then they actually get me as well because I was already slowed. So the wall didn't go behind me like it was supposed to because I was already slowed, so. But for those of you who don't know, I see a lot of people who don't understand it for whatever reason, but if you have boots finished and you're not affected by slows, you can pretty much always look straight down as Ymir and put a wall down and it'll be behind you. You don't have to like do a 180 and flick the wall or anything like that to do that. Now at this point I have my Thebes finished, which is great, and I get some more multi potions as well. And just heading back to lane. This is pretty much all this is really. It's just sitting in lane with your mid laner just being as annoying as you possibly can be. For the first time in this game, they finally got their yellow. Now I'm looking at this fight, and I noticed that my tier is losing. But here comes the Uller, and I'm able to actually get a really easy kill on him. I am keeping an eye on my tier while I'm clearing this. Like, I don't want him to die. I'm waiting for him to retreat. He needs to learn that this isn't a good fight for him. And he needs to, like, retreat, because tier versus Arthur. I mean, tier versus Arthur isn't a horrible matchup, if I'm not mistaken at least. I don't think it is. But so right there I blinked in and went for the 3, but I missed, and then I was able to clean him up with my 2, so it didn't matter. The blink is really valuable on Ymir, and like I said, if you're playing a support who can utilize it well, then you really do need to go blink, and you also should get Relic Dagger, so that way you can blink more often. Going back to what I was talking about my tier though, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure he made it out of there safely, and then he's walking back to lane now. I don't think he died. I could be wrong though. But either way, it wouldn't have mattered much if the Uller hadn't showed up and I killed him. If I had rotated over to go help my tier, I don't think we could have done much to an Arthur with just being an Ymir and a tier. So right here, I kind of wait for his beam to go through, so that way I can secure the buff. And then that time, I learned my lesson with raw slows that there might be a chance that he hits a slow at the perfect time and I don't get the wall off, so I do end up just looking back and placing the wall to make sure. Now, Guan Yu versus Ymir, this is a really cool matchup. Every time that he goes to do his 3, his Talal Assault, I can just freeze him and completely cancel his ability. I fucked up that wall. It kind of screwed us out of getting that kill as well. If I would have placed that wall perfectly, we definitely could have killed that Ymir. I get one more wall off before I die, hoping it helps them out in some way. My team was pretty much just doing work too. Like, my team was doing pretty much everything right for our level of play. And like I said, this is just the casuals too. At this point, they have a DC. Their Kukulkan ended up DCing, and I kind of expected them to surrender, honestly. I was kind of expecting them to surrender at 10. I don't know why they waited to get a DC and everything like this. They actually end up not surrendering, and they play for a late game.
What a nutcase.
But I mean, right now, if I can read those numbers correctly, we have about a 10,000 gold lead on them. We're completely destroying them. So as long as we don't start throwing, which we do, then we're pretty much a shoo-in to win this. And I'm trying to blink through the wall, but it's not fucking letting me. And then the Kukulkan shows up, but it doesn't matter. They clean up the Raw anyways. At this point, I'm just juking every single ability, and they're just missing everything. And now I start taunting them, and then I wall off the Arthur. Just being as annoying as I can be. Neith gets a clean snipe onto the Kukulkan there. Make him wish that he didn't come back. Now this is an awkward fight for us. I'm trying to stand in front of the Arthur. Like, I'm trying to get in between him and my Neith as much as possible to make sure he doesn't ult her. We finally end up getting her, but then Ra snipes her. Or we finally end up getting him, but then the Ra snipes my Neith, so. At that point, I probably shouldn't have been in left. I should have been in mid helping my Hobwa right there. Kind of my fault that he died, if I'm being honest. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter too much. I knew that the Uller was pretty much just going to expect me to walk straight at him, so I just literally just started strafing and made him miss his axe completely. Trying to decide what relic to get here. As aggressive as we're playing and as good as our early game is going right now, I end up going for the Belt of Frenzy, and that's going to help us a lot with taking objectives and whatnot. I could have also gone for an upgraded Horrific Emblem. I could have gone for a Heavenly Wings because of the amount of slows on their team. There's a few things I could have done instead, but I chose Belt of Frenzy just because we're playing so aggressive, taking so many objectives and everything like that, and I kind of just wanted us to push for the early game finish. That was the idea behind it, at least. Trying to get in range to wall off this Guan Yu. I thought if I blinked on him then I might be able to freeze him, but he ends up getting away. And he's way faster than me, and this is the bad thing about Ymir. He's really immobile. So blink is kind of necessary on him. I wouldn't even say it's more of like a just get blink because it's really good. But Ymir kind of needs it, if I'm being honest, because he is so immobile. I kind of yoinked this kill there from my tier. I had already started ulting, so I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and last hit him. Because the Arthur wasn't inside my ult, so I might as well have put my ult to good use there and got that kill. This guy gets he gets fucking murdered. Now at this point, the tier and the Neith are trying to tell us to attack middle lane and go for the Titan. But I mean, if you look at their death timers, there's literally no way that we'd be able to end the game at this point. So we could have went for a fire, but Gold Fury was a decent call. I mean, we're already so far ahead in gold. We're well over 10,000 in gold right now, about 12,000 actually. But Gold Fury was a decent call since we were already on that side of the map and whatnot. Now at this point I start buying wards because I know I have my frenzy. The Neath is up now. We can start looking at fire here. So I grab some wards so that way I can rotate over and start warding for fire. Now I should have noticed here that there's a pretty big wave and left, and that we'll probably end up losing this tower if someone pushes, especially that tower's gone. But I just go ahead and say, let's go on fire. As soon as my Neath gets here, I go ahead and pop my frenzy, so that way we can just shred this thing quickly. And I let them know that my ultimate is ready, so that way when it gets low enough, I can just pop my ult. I do end up popping it a little too early though, unfortunately. The Raw snipes it, and that kind of prompted me to go for the ult. And it was at 251 health, if I'm not mistaken. They could have probably stolen that if this Arthur had gotten there a little bit quicker. But it was all good. I end up dying, but it's okay. I'm just the support. Now, if you can get everyone on your team to have fire, then that's great. The support can definitely make use of it because of the health regeneration. Being a tank, you know, that's really good. And taking less damage from objectives, that's really good. But if there's anyone on your team who you would rather not have the fire giant, I'm trying to word this right. If there's anyone on your team who is not that big of a deal if they get the fire or not, it's probably your support, honestly. You definitely want your carries to have fire more than you want your support to have fire. Now this is the part where I start like freaking out. I don't know what to build, so I just go for a mantle. I should have went relic dagger. I probably should have went relic dagger 4th item instead of sovereignty. The reason why I went sovereignty 4th item is because that was when their Kukulkan DC'd, and I realized that the only magical damage they had left on their team was their Ra, and I didn't expect the Kukulkan to come back. I should have actually gotten a pestilence is what I should have gotten. A pestilence and then a relic dagger, or vice versa. I don't think I end up getting any anti-heal going on in the build, which is kind of bad for us, honestly, because they do have the Ra, the Guan, and the Arthur, who's probably healing with Glad Shield. Now, in my head here, we can totally end this game, but we end up trolling our asses off, and it's actually fucking hilarious. It's actually really fucking funny. We basically turned this into an arena match. I had a really sick wall here, and we end up killing the Uller because he can't go to Fountain. Now I'm just trying to end here. I'm not even paying attention to this Guan Yu who's like destroying my Neath. A little pissed that he gets out. I popped my ult there thinking we could get him. Wall him off from the Fountain again. Ymir is really good in this area of the game, preventing people from getting to their Fountain and whatnot. If my team had followed up with me, then we probably could have killed him, but I'm not sure how worth it was. Probably not worth it at all, honestly. I get a sick wall here, and I'm just basically just trying to regen as much. Now, for some reason, I chose to blink past the Phoenix. If I'd paid attention, I'd have realized that it didn't respawn yet, but oh well. There's Arthur ult, and there I go down. At this point, I'm deciding whether or not I want Mantle. Spirit Robe is a good item. Spirit Robe's kind of slept on, honestly. It gives you not cooldown reduction. It gives you that too, though. It gives you crowd control reduction, and it makes it so that way if you get CC, then you get a little bit of damage mitigation, which is really good. And that's kind of the internal battle I'm having with myself, because I originally planned to go Mantle of Discord, but I'm realizing here that they have a shit ton of CC on their team, and I already have enough gold to afford Spirit Robe, so I might as well go for it. So that's what I do. Yeah, my Hobwa is just going off right now. He just got the Immortal. Oh, I should point out what I was doing right there. I was just making sure that my wall was on quick cast. I don't know why I was doing that. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, honestly. I was, like I said, for most of this match I was listening to music, so I probably wasn't focusing that hard, honestly. But even though I play on instant cast, there are a few abilities that I like on quick cast, such as Ymir wall. Another really good wall. Making sure I keep them zoned. Now at this point I have my frenzy. We need to be going in on the Titan and then just fucking ending the game. But like I said, my team, we started trolling and we ended up, like I said, just fucking playing arena and conquest basically. Like there's no better way I could say it. I think I start calling for another fire giant here if I'm not mistaken. Yep, that's what I'm doing. Now at this point I'm trying to wait for my Neath, but my Mercury thinks it's a better idea to just face tank the fucking fire giant. So I just kind of like freak out and turn around and go to help them. But we're shredding through it really quickly, so even without the Neath. This is the point where I realized that having one Phoenix down isn't working for us, so we probably need to go for a second. Going for right Phoenix might have made more sense, but since this team is kind of trolling and everything, I figured that it was just a little simpler to just tell them to go for left since they were already here, pretty much. I completely missed that ult. It's very unfortunate, but it's whatever. Kokokon still gets destroyed. I got a nasty wall right here, and the Uller gets fucking just obliterated because of it. That wasn't as good of a wall by me, but it was still effective enough. I was able to get in position to body block him, even though I was taking damage to Fountain. That didn't matter too much. And that's game. So yeah, what I would have done differently is I definitely would have gotten anti-heal. That's really important, especially with as much healing as they had going on their team. And like I said, Relic Dagger, I can't believe I spaced that one out, but I wasn't really focusing too hard on that game. But yeah, if you're wondering what a good build would be, basically what I was doing, go cooldown boots, get Guardian's Blessing if that's what you're into. Some people don't like Guardian's Blessing, so it's totally up to you, personal preference there. I really like Stone of Binding on Ymir. Pretty much if you're playing a Guardian who has decent CC, you can never go wrong with Stone of Binding, so do that. You know, aura items are really good. Mostly you want anti-heal. You definitely want Relic Dagger. Pridwin is really good. I don't recommend it on Ymir, just because, I mean, I guess you could get it on Ymir, but you're not typically initiating fights with your ultimate with Ymir. At least that's not how I play Ymir. But if you like to, if you're the kind of guy who wants to blink in, freeze their team, and then get off an ult to start off the fight, then you could definitely go Pridwin. I'm sure there's some other items that you could go as well. Of course, you want Thebes. Always go Thebes if you're support. But yeah, here's the match stats. As you can see, I was doing like 5, 5, and 15. I was doing pretty decent. Player damage, pretty decent. More damage than their jungler. More damage than their carry. Damage mitigated, pretty damn good. 29,000, not too bad. Words place, not too proud of that one. Only play 6 words. Not a good support. If you're a good support, then 26 minutes in, you should have placed 70 wards by now. And that's totally a joke, I'm just kidding. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that follow button, or not that follow button, this isn't Twitch. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the like button, or else I'm not your amigo. Hope you guys enjoyed, hope you learned something. Leave me in the comments what you think I should do next. If you enjoyed this video, if you have any complaints, if you're like some god tier level player or whatever and you want to tell me everything that I did wrong, go ahead and do it. I don't really care. But anyways, hope you guys enjoy yourselves. Hope you guys have a good night, good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever the fuck you are. I hope it's good, and peace out.